Hello, and you are in the right place if you are looking for the 2022 Employee Benefits webinar for Southern California. This video is going to be a brief overview of all the benefits for January 1, 2022. You may have missed one of our webinars that we did live, and so this one is going to be there to help you and guide you and hopefully keep you awake for those long, cold, and rainy nights. Okay, I digress. So without further ado, let's get into this meeting because I want to try and keep it brief and simple for you. And then absolutely reach out to us if you have any questions. My name is Jonathan Rudnick. I'm going to be taking you on this magical tour, and it will be magical. All right, so let's get started. All right. What I just skipped over a minute ago was the table of contents. In a few of these videos, I have gone over the table of contents, but just really quickly, of course, in this video, we're going to go over the medical, the dental, vision. There are some other benefits out there like life insurance and ancillary plans like accident and hospital indemnity. We're going to go over all those items as well. And there's even some important insurance products like short-term and long-term disability. So I will try to briefly get through all of that and get you going on your way. So once again, if you need to reach out to us, I'm going to give out our number at the end of this particular webinar, and definitely let us know what is going on or what specific concerns you might have for this year. So what's new in 2022? So the HSA account, right, the limits for 2022 are $3,650 for one person and $7,300 annually. Remember, the HSA account is only for employees that actually have the HSA medical plan. Another new thing regarding the UHC PPO dental plan, right, is that we will be including a rollover benefit for this year. So for people who are underutilizers and spend less than a certain amount of money on dental every year, they will get an extra benefit for 2023. Another very exciting thing, at least for me, is that the prescription copays for generic prescriptions, tier 1 prescriptions, have come down to a $10 copay to save you a little bit of extra money. This is not really new, but the way that you do your enrollment, just as a reminder, everybody should have received a login. If you did not see one, I would definitely check your junk mail. For some reason, email does not love insurance brokers, so you may not have seen the email coming from Ease to let you know to enroll this year. So this is your address right here. You would have got a special link directly to you. That is always the best way to log in because it is the most secure way to do things. If you have trouble, there is a way to reach out through the site. And here's a little bit of information. This is Charles M. Best's email, or Chuck Best. I will give out my email address at the end as well, just so you have more than one person to contact. Qualifying life events. So I want to say something about this really quick, but definitely reach out to us if you have a specific question. Qualifying life events are times outside of open enrollment where you're going to add, a newborn child, or maybe your spouse has lost their benefits through their employer. This is how you're going to go ahead and you're going to go and add them onto this plan. You have about 30 days, right, to go ahead and do this, because remember, we have to go back to the insurance company and get them added on. But this is very different from open enrollment. Open enrollment is the only time where you can actually switch plans and make a different decision. A qualifying life event will only allow you to add a dependent onto the plan. So don't be confused about that. I just want to make sure you pick the right plan for you. All right. So the first two plans on the agenda are the PPO plans. One is a traditional PPO and the other is an HSA. Now, these are very different, but they both use the same provider network. So you can definitely find the same PPO doctors in both of these plans. So without going into major detail on which either one of these plans are, what I want to say so that you can figure out which one's going to be better for you is, number one, you can look at the deductibles. The traditional PPO is $1,000, whereas the HSA is $2,000. Another big change between the two plans, a very big difference, if you want to call it that, and not really a change, is that the traditional PPO has first dollar benefits, whereas the HSA does not. And that's because the HSA has to be designed a certain way in order to fit the IRS's guidelines for what can be considered an HSA high deductible plan. All right. So that means that if you said to me, well, what items are subject to the deductible under the traditional PPO, you can see that you can go to the doctor for $35 in network, right? You can get labs in network for a $10 copay. You can get prescriptions for $10, $35, or $70, right? These are all items that you can get prior to the deductible, right? And that's because of the traditional style of plan and the nature of that type of plan, right? The HSA, on the other hand, is very different and dynamically different. Most of the things are subject to the deductible, right? Office visits are 20% after the deductible. Lab is 20% after the deductible. Even prescriptions are after the deductible. So please keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out what plan works for you this year as to which plan you want to enroll in. There are very good reasons for being under the HSA because you can put money into a separate health savings account. That money never goes away, right? You cannot do that under the traditional PPO. All right. When we are talking about hospitalization, they are a little different on each plan. The traditional PPO is a $100 copay plus 20% after the $1,000 deductible for an individual versus just 20% after the deductible under the HSA. So keep an eye on all of those benefits for this year. Make sure you are in the plan that meets your needs. Remember, you might have a knee surgery or a shoulder surgery, or maybe you're even thinking about getting pregnant, and this will affect how you want to use your plan for the next year. Now, these are PPO plans, so there is out-of-network components to them. Just remember, if you do go out-of-network, the deductibles are higher. And remember, right, that the insurance company does not have a contract with those providers, meaning that you will definitely see some additional bills almost all of the time for services that you do when you go out of network. So if you can stay in network, you will definitely save some money. So what about some of the other options that you have? You have 3 different HMOs that you can choose from in addition to the PPOs. And so 2 of the HMOs look like they are almost identical, but one uses one network that is specifically called Harmony, and there are a lot of healthcare partners providers in that particular network. And the other one is considered Signature Value, and it is their largest network that UHC has. Other than that, the plans are identical in the way that they work because they both have $1,500 deductibles, right? They both have $5,000 out of pocket for individuals, right? Office visits are $25 for your primary care doctor and $40 for a specialist. Labs are $10 under both plans, and x-rays are both $25, and MRIs are a $100 copay on both plans, right? So what you really want to figure out here is, where is your doctor located? If you said to me today that your doctor is at Cedars-Sinai or UCLA, it's going to be in the bigger network, in the Signature Value plan, right? If you told me that your doctor was a healthcare partners doctor, there may be no reason to actually take the Signature Value plan, because that might be an extra premium to you. And why not save those dollars for other items that you might want to purchase or help you through this, following year that your employer is providing. So keep that in perspective. Outpatient surgery or inpatient surgery on either of these plans is 30% after the deductible. So remember, you have to meet the $1,500. And that does include, right, talking about maternity, because maternity is the same kind of coverage as inpatient surgery. All right, so keep that in mind. Definitely reach out to us if you get stuck on the differences there. Now, there is one plan that is slightly different, and it is the $0 deductible Signature Value HMO. So once again, this is the larger network, right? But this plan has no deductible. It has a $3,000 out of pocket for an individual. The copay for a primary care doctor is $30 and a specialist is $40. You do not pay for labs or x-rays. It's a $0 copay. And for MRIs, it is a $100 copay. Prescriptions on all 3 plans are identical, 10, 35, and 70. All right. But here is where it is vastly different when we're talking about inpatient and outpatient surgery. Since there is no deductible, it is a $250 copay for outpatient surgery, and it is a $500 copay per day with a 3-day max, right, for inpatient surgery or maternity. So this means if you have a baby and you're in the hospital for 3 days, the maximum that you're going to pay for the delivery is $1,500. So this is really the right time to be thinking about, what plan suits your needs. Like I said, you may have put off a knee surgery or you're thinking about becoming pregnant. This is why people change plans. Don't forget that because these are HMOs, you do have to pick a primary care doctor, which is different from the PPO. The PPO lets you go in and out of network, and you do not have to pick a primary care doctor, but the HMO is only in network. And you do not have to wait till this time of year to change your primary care physician. You can actually do that all year long. So when we see some of the numbers come up at the end of this meeting, there's a number there that you can use to dial if you need to change your primary care doctor. Just try and get to UHC before the 16th of the month so that they will go ahead and do that for you. So what about dental? Right? We still have United Healthcare Dental. We have a PPO plan and an HMO plan, right? The HMO plan is similar to the HMO medical. You pick a primary care dentist and you go to that dentist for all your care. Now you can see there are not a whole lot of cost display here because everything on the HMO dental is a copay, and you'll find that copay schedule inside the portal. All the routine services that you're going to get done are going to have a dental code listed and then the cost for that service. However, if you do have a lot of work to be done, I would suggest getting a treatment plan from your dentist just to make sure what's going to happen. If you go in there with pain and say, just fix it now, you may end up with a bill that you didn't anticipate because you have not looked at that copay schedule and or maybe they didn't do a treatment plan. The other interesting thing about the HMO is it has no deductibles and it never runs out of benefits. So if you need 7 root canals and 7 crowns, which I hope you do not, all right, you can get all of that done in a year and the plan will not quit on you. The plan also provides a benefit for child orthodontia, which is one of the lowest ones I've ever seen in my entire career, right, of $1,000, right? And it does offer coverage for adults at $1,895. So keep that in perspective. You can get that through the HMO. Now, when we are talking about the PPO, it is very different. The PPO, not only does it have a deductible for the first 3 people in your family, so depending on how many people are utilizing the coverage this year, right? And that's only going to come into play when we're talking about basic or major services. So that being said, there are 3 categories: preventative, basic, and major, right? And like I said here, when we're talking about basic or major, that's where the deductible comes in 1 time a year per person, up to a maximum of 3 people. The other thing that's different is there is a maximum benefit per person. It is $2,000 per person. So if there are 3 people in your family, each person gets $2,000. You get $2,000, you get $2,000, you get $2,000. You way in the back, you get $2,000 if that's your child in the back. All right. And so remember, every time you get a service done, right, even if it's a cleaning that's covered at 100%, right? Let's say those cleanings, each one is worth $100. That's $200 out of your bucket of money. All right. If you need fillings or crowns, right? Fillings and root canals are covered at 80%, meaning you pay 20% of the bill after that deductible one time, or a crown is 50% coverage, you pay the other 50%. You can go out of network with the PPO, but remember, there is no contract with that particular out of network dentist, and you probably more than likely will pay more for those services. Also keep in mind that cleanings out of network are subject to the deductible. PPO vision, right? Once again, with UHC, the way that vision works is it's broken up into 3 kind of separate parts. It's the exam, lenses, and frames. You can get an exam every year. You can get lenses every year, but you can only get frames once every other year, or what they call once every 2 years. Your exam is going to cost you $10. Your single vision bifocal or trifocal lenses, you're going to pay the first $25. And then after all that, you will get $130 to spend on frames. Okay, that may not be enough money, but it is something that they're giving you to help offset the cost of what those frames might be. All right, I jumped ahead there for a second. All right. Some of the other items that are being offered by your employer. Of course, you can do the HSA account if you do take the HSA PPO plan, right? But you do have to have those two combined together in order to contribute, right? And once again, those limits are $3,650 for an individual and $7,300 for a family. Now, if you contribute to the HSA, usually that eliminates you being able to contribute to an FSA, right? And the FSA limits are $5,000. Now, the dependent care FSA is to use for something specific, and usually it is, expenses for day or custodial care for children or federal tax dependents under the age of 13 or disabled adult federal tax dependents that live with you or your spouse. The wellness plan, right? This is something that's often overlooked. Every year, you have the opportunity to go ahead and get this free money in the form of gift cards and different things that they will send to you. Go ahead, log in, make sure you do some of these online health surveys and get your money. It's up for grabs. Absolutely go and do this and get whatever they are willing to give you for whatever time you are able to provide them. It doesn't run out, so I would definitely try and do something to get some of this back from UHC. So, what are some of the ancillary items that UHC has to offer? One of the things is basic life that's actually provided to you. Now, this is paid for by your employer. It's still the same. It is 1 times your salary for basic life and AD&D, right? That's offered to you at no additional cost. You will see that displayed in your portal. And for some reason you don't, definitely reach out to us. But what if you needed more life insurance? Well, obviously, we have been in a pandemic and different things have gone on. That's usually when something has happened to somebody in your family. You say, hey, maybe I need to get life insurance for myself. This is a good opportunity to go ahead and take a look at it. A lot of people tell me, I have a friend that does this. Somebody approached me at my car and said they wanted to sell me life insurance, but for whatever reason, some of these people have not enrolled in life insurance yet. So my plan is always take a look at this first. Get this today. If you do come up with a better plan, no harm, no foul. We can always work with you to get the life insurance taken off at the next open enrollment, or just let us know what's going on. We're here to help you. So a couple other things in the forms of disability. I do happen to believe that disability is one of the most important plans that you can enroll in and pay for, because not everybody can get these plans on their own. In the state of California, yes, of course, we do have state disability. Sometimes it doesn't always get you all that you need, and that's why the short-term disability plan is available to give you a little bit more than what you're getting from the state. However, I sometimes believe that the long-term disability may be the more important plan, because the truth is that if you are covered by the state for a year, right, that the long-term disability, right, you need something for after that first year. So the long-term disability is one of those items that is going to take care of you until Social Security normal retirement age, right, and that's changing every year. So depending on, when you get there, maybe it's going to be 67, 68, right? Depending on how that's set up, and you can see the details inside the portal, it's going to cover you for 60% of your monthly earnings up to a maximum of $5,000, right? I believe that, right, if you can't work for the rest of your life and they deem you totally disabled, this is the one that is going to save you by providing you a monthly benefit. And whether that's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever that is, obviously that can help you pay a mortgage, college tuition, different things, even for your own care, because you can no longer work. A lot of people can try and go out and get disability on their own, but it's usually too expensive, right? Or they will not qualify. And that's why buying it through the group is a pretty cool way to do it. So there are a few other ancillary plans that we offer through the portal. There's hospital indemnity, accident, and critical illness. Hospital indemnity is just like it sounds. This is one where you're going to get paid money, a lump some cash benefit if you end up in the hospital. So the nice thing about this is the money goes directly to you. It does not go to the insurance company. But you do have to reach out to UHC to let them know you have been hospitalized so that they can go through the claims process with you. The accident plan, right, is slightly different because this is things that result from, this is where things result from an accident. So if you're in your backyard putting up lights around your tree or trimming trees, or maybe you're just doing a project and you hurt yourself and end up in the emergency room, or even if you get taken by an ambulance to a hospital, or even if you're hospitalized, there are different copays that are listed inside the portal for each one of these things that happen to you. And they're going to just keep paying you out for each one of these items that happen to you. So this is a good way to see some money back in your pocket when, once again, you may not be able to work because of this accident. So it's not disability, this is accident coverage. We also have critical illness coverage, which once again is a slight variation. If you end up with cancer, heart attack, or a stroke, these are just some of the covered illnesses, they are going to pay you a lump sum benefit. And once again, you cannot work when some of these things happen. This is money that's going to help you get through the day, and it's paid directly to you. The EAP plan, which is another ancillary benefit, is actually paid for by your employer. And this is really to help you. These may be things that you may not want to go to HR about and may have to deal with on your own. When you go ahead and you either call the telephone number or go to the website, right, they're going to give you 3 free counseling sessions with a local therapist and then help you get some direction for the items that you're calling them about. And whether this was a relationship issue, a legal issue, parenting questions, financial counseling, there's all this different advice and direction that they can give you. And once again, you are not paying for the first 3 visits for some of these items, and then they are helping you to find somebody local that can assist you after that. So you're going to need this code to get into the website. Definitely check it out if you need those time services. Hey, look at this. We made it to the end of the meeting, and here were those very important numbers that I was talking about. I have gone over my time limit by a little bit, but let me just get this out here so you know what's going on. I'm going to blow up the screen a little bit here so you can see everything. You should have your HR department's telephone number. That's listed at the top. Obviously, if something's going wrong, contact them first, but you can also reach out to us as the insurance brokers, and many a time, HR will always direct you over to us anyways when it is a personal matter. If you're under the signature value HMO products, whether we're talking about Harmony or we're talking about the full network product, you may need to call them to switch your primary care doctor. That's something that sometimes we cannot do on our own. If you would like to call them and do that, you can definitely do that. You're allowed to change your primary care doctor once a month, as long as you call them early enough to do so. So normally I say get to them before the 16th of the month. You do not need to do that under the PPO or HSA, right? Because those plans do not require you to pick a primary care doctor. We have listed the numbers here for the pharmacy. We have listed some of the numbers if you need to get in contact with the HMO dental department, because once again, you want to change your HMO primary care dentist. And the most important numbers of all down here at the bottom, our numbers right here. So if you need to get a hold of us, it is 818-883-3282. This is the email address that appeared at the beginning of the meeting for Charles M. Best or Chuck Best. My email address is my name. So it is J, like Jonathan, J Rudnick, so RUDNICK, at lafinservices.com. So the same thing that you see here. We're open typically, normal business hours, 9 to 5. But if you miss us for some reason, shoot us an email or leave us a message, and we will definitely get back to you as soon as possible, just to make sure that you have some good direction on what you need to do for this next year. But we are also here the entire year. We don't go away. So I hope you've enjoyed and found this meeting very informative. That's what I was trying to do with the 20 minutes of time here. Please reach out to us if you have any other questions. Have a great day over there, and I'm going to stop the record on this session and hopefully hear from whoever needs us very soon.